So my first thought went to my rising sign in astrology. I'm a Libra. My sun sign is a Leo. So rising means what you present to others on the outside, what they see you presenting, how you act, how you behave, and everything. And a Libra is a scale. That's the sign for Libra. It's a balanced sign. So I feel like on the outside, it can appear like I'm balanced or maybe have my shit together, but internally it's not that way. It's definitely not always how it appears, and I definitely have to give credit to, I don't want to give credit to myself, but like with
Shit happens. Shit happens to you and me. It doesn't matter if you're a wizard, a king, or a queen. Even if you are magic, you gotta agree. It's worth it to talk shit out, no matter how messy. Shit happens. Shit happens.
We are live, baby. Yeah, technology. You would think people being what was I gonna say? You would think being a podcaster, right? You got technology on lock, but we are still learning. By the way, y'all should be proud of me. I did this all by myself, okay? But I'm still not seeing. Am I live? I hope I'm live. I don't know. How do you know if you're live? Because it's not showing anywhere. I'll be so mad if I did all this and I'm not live, like I'm talking to myself. But anyways, if you can see me, say hi. If I'm live, hey. If I'm not, well then, we shall figure it out. So welcome to, oh, it does say I'm live, so we'll see. Hi, everybody. Don't mind me. This is my first time broadcasting. Like, I've never gone live apart from IG, okay? I do go live on IG. So this is the first time that I'm actually doing live. And I've decided to do that with Shit Happens. So it's the official launch day for Shit Happens. And Shit Happens means a place where we talk on the shit that's happening or that's happened. And literally. And it's amazing that I wanted to start it in February because who knows why? I mean, it's Black History Month. I am Black as fuck, proudly. So what better time to bring on Shit Happens than on Black History Month? And I get to enjoy this moment with a beautiful queen and end it with a beautiful king. So it's like the perfect mixture, and it's all Black. So, no offense, trust me, there are going to be diverse of guests, but it was just nice to start it with a Black queen and a Black king on the 1st of February of Black History Month. Like, can you feel that vibe? Can you feel it? Can you feel the energy? Can you feel those feelings? I'm just saying. So, shit happens. It's gonna be 30 minutes, to 45, depending how people talk. Because some of them are podcasters and they don't know how to shut up. So forgive them in advance. But it's gonna be like a one question where kind of covers what I need that person to cover in their life, whether they are creative journey, whether their mental health journey, whether there's something that they're dealing with that I know and I want to shine light on. And with that, our first beautiful, by the way, before I bring on our guest, shout out to Adam Shibley, who is the host of Podcasting Business School. He does podcast. Oh my God, what is it called? audits. Podcast audits. I went to his podcast audit, and this was one of the ideas he gave me. So I've been working on it since last year, and it was time. I feel like Talk Shit with P has to grow. So we have now Shit Happens under the umbrella of Talk Shit with P. And we also have Say Your Shit, which is every Tuesday, 9 a.m. on IG Live. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our beautiful, 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 incredible guests. Can we give a round of applause, please? Yeah. Victoria, welcome to Shit Happens.
Hi, Paula. Thank you for having me. Happy Black History Month. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I'm feeling fabulous, darling. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being my first. Like when I saw you walked on that first, I was like, and the funny thing is, I'm supposed to be moving today, and I was like, why didn't I block the first and the second? Like I'm back from Podfest. I'm tired. I'm not feeling well. Gotta move, and I have to do this. Like,
how was Podfest for you? Like, what was that like? Tell me about it. You went to Orlando. That's my dream city. So, how was that?
Oh my God! How many dream cities do you have? Because I thought LA was yours.
What? Okay. Orlando is number 1 because of Disney World. LA 2 because I go to school out there virtually. I'm an online student, as you know. But Orlando has been number 1 since I was a kid in the USA. So I would say before I travel abroad, I want to go to Orlando.
So you've never been to Orlando yet? All right, next year we are going to Podfest.
Not yet.
Next year we are making it to Podfest.
You want to book me a flight?
Listen, you just gotta put it out there. God works in mysterious way. You gotta put it out there. If people don't know you wanna go to Orlando or to Podfest next year, how is it gonna happen? You gotta put it out there. Don't ask about flights or anything. Say I am going to Orlando next year. There you go. There you go. I always tell people when you put a little hesitation or maybe if I can, God is like, oh, she's really not sure if she wants to or not. So why should I? But if you say, I am going to, even if I always say that even when I have $0 in my account, I'm going. I don't know.
Period. And you made it happen. So.
But Podfest was amazing. This year was very emotional. It was, we were celebrating 10th year anniversary. We had incredible, amazing turnout, first timers. I was volunteering. I was the ambassador. Lee Silverman, who is battling cancer, and there's no other form. Like right now, he's in hospice, just waiting for his time, and he's been attending Podfest. So his last wish was to make it happen at Podfest, and he came. So it was like all of us seeing him and not knowing, is this the last time we're actually seeing him? Because you know it's coming, but you also don't want to accept it. But that's the reality of life. Like there's nothing else can be done. So and that was and they started an award for him. So that was amazing. So it was just full on beautiful moments. And Podfest is like going home for Thanksgiving for me, to see my family and friends and just everybody. Like my voice is recovering, but
I saw that you won an award or something. You got to go on stage several times. You were a presenter and speaking. I was keeping up with all of your Instagram stories, and I was like, she's like the mayor of Podfest or something like that. So
shout out to Adam Shively for running with for saying that, and I ran with it. But and it's funny because as soon as I get to Podfest, I always start posting on my stories because I want people who didn't make it or don't know why I'm always talking about it, for them to have a feel for maybe like, okay, next year I want to go. Because it's not only the parties, it's the education, it's the connection, it's the meetups, it's the Black people showed up and showed out. We had the biggest. I've been going 3 times, and this was the biggest Black people crowd. So it was beautiful to see. So it's just all around one. So whenever I post, everybody who is coming late, because people start arriving on Wednesday, but everything starts on Thursday. But Thursday is the half day, like until 3. Then we go full on Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday we end it with a gratitude ceremony in the morning. Whoever wants to go on the stage and share a few words. You get to do that. So some people have start coming in on Fridays, some Thursday. Everybody's different. So when I'm always there on Wednesday, when I start posting, everybody's like, even though I know I'm coming to Podfest, when I see a stories, I'm like, I gotta be there. Like, and people start looking for me and they're like, well, now can I take a picture and be on your story? Because people need to know I was here. I'm like, okay, let's take a selfie, and I put it on my story. So it's just amazing. But we're not here to talk about Podfest or me. This is not a polar show. This is a shit happens show.
Yes.
And as you said, you are a student, but you are not only a student. You are a podcaster. You are modeling. You are an actress. You're a sister, a daughter, a friend, a relative, like so many hats in you. And I cannot imagine being a student and have to, because balancing or navigating being a podcaster, because podcasting itself is a lot of work by one person.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the modeling to find auditions, to attend, to create also, because some auditions you have to make tapes, right? And then exactly, and then acting, like it's the same. So it's constantly, and then you still gotta pass your books, you still gotta study, and you still gotta work to pay your bills.
That part, let's talk about that.
It's funny because I wanted to talk about balancing, and because, as we said, I came from Podfest and I was balancing being a volunteer, being an ambassador, being a speaker, being a host, to the extent that sometimes I was missing some meetups or some things because I had to be somewhere else, and it drains you however much energy you have, and it can get to a point like, okay, how do I get it right? So my question for you, how do you balance? Let's talk about balancing all these things in life, because you still gotta enjoy life. We're not here to just do all these things and not live life.
Yeah. So my first thought went to my rising sign in astrology. I'm a Libra. My sun sign is a Leo. So rising means what you present to others on the outside, what they see you presenting, how you act, how you behave, and everything. And a Libra is a scale. That's the sign for Libra. It's a balanced sign. So I feel like on the outside, it can appear like I'm balanced or maybe have my shit together, but internally, it's not that way. It's definitely not always how it appears. And I definitely have to give credit to, I don't want to give credit to myself, but like when it gets really hard, I really turn to like my spirituality. I am a Christian. I'm very prayerful and everything. So I would give God that credit for saying how I stay balanced. I really try to just stay as rooted as possible, because I got super overwhelmed yesterday with some classwork actually. And it just kind of felt like my head was spinning. I'm in grad school right now, and these grad classes and these professors, they're not playing, and I'm remote. So I have to keep up with my deadlines and everything. So when I get overwhelmed like that, I have to take a step back and like step away from technology. I might listen to music. I might I'm doing this like Bible challenge, like reading a verse a day on the Bible app, where you can like read the daily devotional. I've been trying to do that in the mornings, like actually reading a physical book, like a book. That's been helping me. But balance is a daily process for me, and something that I'm continuing to work on, because I'm not the most balanced person, if I'm being honest with you.
That's not true. Sorry, first, I mean, I am the same. When you were talking about it all together, and inside you're like, what am I doing? Like, how do I keep up? So even sometimes I try so much to do the Bible daily, right, in the morning, but some days in the morning I'm so sleepy, and I know I don't want just to, because the strikes, right? It gives you every day, you get a new strike if you do away. So I'm like, I want the strike, but I also want to be intentional. I don't want to, if I'm sleepy, I know I'm not concentrating on the word. Like, I'm not going to understand it. I'm not going to hear it. Yes, I'm going to get a strike, but did I really? Was I really spending time with God? Was I really in his presence? Was I really hearing the word? So sometimes I'm like, I will do it later when my mind is right. And then the next thing I know, it's midnight and I haven't done my Bible reading for the day. And I'm like, oh my God.
The plan that I'm on is a 365-day plan. Well, this year is a leap year, so 366 days, right? I actually only committed to doing 30 days at first, but then I was like, I don't want to half-ass it. I want to go in. So I'm deciding to do it every day. I'm just taking it one day at a time right now. But some days I do miss, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And I'm also taking a class at USC. Shout out to USC, Fight On Trojans. I'm taking a mindfulness class, which basically means that you could take a free course at USC. They offer these mindful classes in journaling, and I'm taking one on applied mindfulness and mindful journaling. So with this class, it's like an hour on Tuesdays. You go in, the professor leads a meditation, and basically you breathe in and out 3 times, and she gives us a journal prompt, and we basically journal whatever topic. It could be about anything. She'll just give us 3 topics and we write about it, and it's been very therapeutic. And she's also emphasized how outside of class we should still be mindful and still be journaling. So even yesterday when I got overwhelmed, I took time out, 10 whatever minutes, to just close my eyes and just breathe. Just breathe. Sometimes we forget to just be still and be with our breath. So it's like being with my breath. My head is spinning right now. Just breathe. I'm just human. It's all right.
So true. For me, it's going outside for fresh air, however cold or... So when I used to have my old place before it burned down, it's going to... Actually, next week, it's going to be a year since I lost my place. But
And where are you based again?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. Okay, and I'm in Dallas. In the Dallas area.
So the apartment I had, my balcony and my bedroom were facing each other. So I would always leave the door open, and it's always fresh air. Unless it's very cold, then I'll be closing the door. But 24/7, that door will always be open. But now I'm here where the door can never be open, and we're on the ground floor. You're not gonna leave So and I'm always in my room because that's where I work. That's my office. That's my everything. Yeah. So sometimes when I get drained, I'm like, I start feeling the darkness of the room. No, I need to go outside, take a walk, even if it's just around the compound of the building, or just to get that fresh air and help my mind recharge.
That's good. I feel like I need to get outside more. Absolutely.
Yeah, the sun, the fresh air, it's very healthy. It energizes you. And that's why, even because this year for me, my word has been discipline, because I lack discipline and I want to get better. And I started a routine. I was doing very well until I went to Podfest. So after I deal with the moving, because this whole week is going to be moving. So maybe next week we'll start again and I'll be in a new place. I don't work out in the gym, but I do like to stretch and stuff. So I started something where I would go in the morning. I would wake up. Either I would start with my morning prayer or my clubhouse room, whichever one, depending on what time I woke up. I don't even put an alarm. I don't want an alarm, but because my mind, I'm always up by 5:30.
Oh.
I'm always up by 5:30. I'm always up.
Wow.
So then depending if I'm still...
So that's 4:30 my time, because you're an hour ahead of me. So
no matter whatever country I am, no matter the time zone, because I used to do it even when I used to live in Malaysia and UK, because when I would go home to Tanzania, the only time if I wanted to see my dad, I had to wake up at 5, because at 6 he's gone, he starts his stuff, I'm still sleeping. When he comes back, I've gone because I'm on holidays, so I'm outside chilling. When I come back, he's sleeping. So it became that sometimes I'd go a week without seeing my father. And I'm like, okay, in order to see him, if I want to have a conversation, or just because I'm a daddy's girl, sometimes I just want to bug him. I see him sitting in the sofa drinking his tea. I just want to go and cuddle with him, even if it's silent. So I started waking up at 5 o'clock so that we can have that time together. So no matter what country I went, as long as it's 5 o'clock, I'm up.
That's good.
So I go outside and they have the stairs. So I climb the stairs up and down. I stretch, I jog around and come back, even if it's 20, 30 minutes. And starting to do that in the morning, by the time I come back, because it's cold outside, right? So that cold rush, but then now the body's energized. When I come back in, I have so much energy to kill the rest of the day. I'm like, this is why people like going to the gym in the morning, huh? It really adds some extra energy and sets your mind right for some reason.
Right. That's really good. That's really good. I did used to go, there's a duck pond behind my local library, and that's like one of my favorite spots, just to sit by the bench and by the water and just read, be by myself. It's a public space, so people are walking their dogs and walking by, but that's a really good location. I want to go back to some more because the weather has been really cold here in Texas. It might get colder because it's February and you never know in Texas. But the weather is really nice today, so I do want to.
Yeah, and people watching, that's something. When you see people watching, you create this story. It helps with your creativity. I start creating. Because you start creating the stories, and next thing you know, you have this whole story, which gives you an idea for a conversation or for a content or something. Like, it really does.
You know this being a podcast host, how like we can draw creativity from literally anywhere. So yeah, just sitting outside, like you can get an idea or a person to talk to. For me, it's like being near water. I could be like taking a shower, washing my hands, drinking water, sitting next to a lake or something, and I get like an idea of like, or maybe a guest that I think I want to reach out to and talk to and be like, I think you should reach out to them and about having them on your show. So that's something that I was thinking of earlier. Was like, the execution part is completely separate though. Like,
no, the getting your mind right, and this is what we've been talking about, because when it comes to balancing, you need to get your mind right, otherwise you drop the ball on everything. So we've kind of covered things that help get our mind right, like journaling. The entire last year I wasn't journaling. I'm a big journaler. The entire last year, because to me last year was just a ball of shambles, like, so. But this year, I started journaling again. I found my book. I started journaling. Every time I feel I'm in my emotions, instead of actually calling the person, because I'm going through kind of a breakup, which is really not a breakup. Like, it's a weird thing. But with a person who is really my best friend, so I'm used to calling and telling him when everything is wrong or right. But now because we are like, okay, we need to keep this distance, so you can work on you, I can work on me and figure this out. I can't call. So I was like, you know what? I need to go back to journaling that. Every time I feel like I need to call somebody or cry or write it down. And then, because I'm the person, if it's in my head, it's gonna keep on being in my head because I'm an overthinker. But as soon as I talk to someone, whether I talk it out, whether I text somebody or have a moment or write it down, as long as I know those words are moving from my mind and going somewhere, I start to feel a little bit relaxed, and then I will pray, and then the prayer kind of wraps it all up.
Prayer really ties it all together. There's a book that I've been reading, and I have it from the library, by the way. Shout out to my library, but it's called Worried About.
Oh, yeah, I saw your story. I actually screenshotted it because you were talking about it. Which is also, oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up, because you were talking about yesterday about bragging and stuff, because that's when you shared it, right? And I was also going to ask you on that once we get on this. But first, before we get to that, share about the book first.
It's called Worried About Everything Because I Pray About Nothing by Chad Veach. He's the lead pastor of the Zoe Church in Los Angeles, California. And I was just in the library just trying to find I was actually trying to find a specific book, and I found it. But as I was passing by some other books, I saw this one, like the side, and I was like, that's for me. That's me.
That's my name.
I was like, I worry a lot. I'm anxious a lot. I can be stress oriented or stress fueled. I can be fueled by stress. And so this really taught me about that there's no really right way to pray, as long as you are feeding yourself with the word in some way, shape, or form. He even gives topics like victory, peace, purity. If you only know one Bible verse, like that's fine. But all you need is like to develop a relationship with God, with the Holy Spirit. And that's something that I've been trying to practice recently. Last year, I would definitely say was like my beginning journey, a seed journey of like developing my relationship with God. Because like those days when I was sitting by the water, by the duck pond, I was just thinking about like, there's a connection with water here. Like, I think I should get baptized. And like, I ended up getting baptized on October 28th last year. And I had asked my parents, was I baptized as a baby? And they're like, yeah, you were christened. You had like, water sprinkled on you. I was like, that don't count though. I want to get baptized for real. And so I started that process and that journey, and I've just really just been trying to develop a personal connection, not for anybody else, not to be telling everybody or being like, just for me for my own sense of gratitude and peace, because it has not always been easy. Like as a young person, I am a Gen Zer, I am in my 20s. We as young people, we do go through a lot of stuff, as far as the media goes. They may tell you that like we're not motivated, or we're lazy, or we are not hard workers, and that's far from the truth. And so for me, I just wanted to cultivate that personal relationship, because God leads me in every aspect of my life, my podcast, school, day to day, like where I'm going to go, what I'm doing, even in the future, asking God for wisdom, like what do you want me to do, because I don't even know like what I'm gonna eat next. So can you help me? He helped me yesterday when I was stressed, like you said, and I need to charge my laptop. Because it's gonna die soon. Charger. I'll be right back.
Shit that happens. This is what we're talking about. Shit happens and shit happens. Now she's leaving me myself to entertain y'all. Okay, so for all those who are just coming in, Shit Happens is a new program under Talk Shit with P umbrella. It's gonna be 30 to 45 minutes of conversations, one question, and we discuss that and we share and we have a blast. So tune in. Yeah, look at that.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
But yeah. How you were talking about how you use prayer when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. It could just be as simple as like, God, like, thank you for the stress-free feeling that I'm going to have after this test or this exam or this presentation is over. Like, thank you. Or it could just be like, God, please help me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I feel like throwing my phone out the window. Can you please just like calm me down? Yeah.
And that's
super elaborate. And
that's so true, because sometimes even when I'm emotional and I'm crying and I have those moments where my heart just feels dark. I feel this darkness and I don't know what's going on. I'm just crying and I can't stop crying. And if you ask me why am I crying, I'm like, I don't know. So I end up just saying, God, please let me stop crying. Please. I don't want to feel this anymore. And it doesn't heal there, but you feel a little weight, like a little light paving its way into there to clean. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And just like you, I had started my relationship with God 2 years ago, but last year with everything, I kind of, screwed up my relationship with God as well. Because I mean, we are human. When we go through stuff, we need
relationship with God. That I'm still learning that when people are saying like, "Oh, I fell off the wagon," are we not all born in?
I mean, we are, and that's why God says you can come to me anytime, like forgive. But that part of yourself where I should have gone to God, but I didn't. Or when you're in that place where when we lose somebody or anything or something really bad and you've been really good, you're like, God, why me? Like you're forgetting that, you start getting angry at God. So those kind of stuff. But when I started this year, so after ending last year, this year, because last year really kicked my ass. So this year I said I'm gonna grab everything this year. And I realized that even though I was praying, because I'm a worry, I'm an overthinker. And when everything is not going right, you're going to be worried. The more you worry, the more I overthink. The more I overthink, I'm just getting more stressed and depressed. And then I realized you can't be praying and asking God for help, but you're not having faith and trust in Him to actually get you out. Because if you're worrying, that means you don't trust God to get you out. So I said, I'm not worrying. This year, my motto is I'm not worrying. Before Podfest, I have a Tanzanian card, bank card. I went to the ATM, it got swallowed in the ATM machine. And they're telling me to contact my bank. But my bank is all the way in Tanzania. Right? So I called my dad, and I knew my dad was going to start like, oh my God, now I got to go to the bank and deal with them. And then we have to find a way to bring it, to send it to you. That's DHL. You know how much DHL costs? Which in my head, I was very contemplating, but I prayed to God. I was like, God, you got this. So I told my dad, and when I told my dad was like worrying for me, like, oh my God, you were gonna get the money, but now you can't. It's like, Dad, we're not stressing, we're not worrying. God. Tomorrow, go to the bank, one step at a time. After what they tell us at the bank, then we'll take it there. And he went to the bank, which normally takes a week to get the card. He got it there and then. So I'm like, you see, we don't worry. We just take it one step. And I realized I'm starting to implement that. Even Podfest, I was saying I was going to Podfest, but I didn't get my tickets until 2 weeks ago. I didn't even have money for the ticket. I was just like, God's going to make it happen. Like, we're going to Podfest. I had already packed my shit.
You saw yourself there before you got there. All that was needed was the faith in between to actually get you there, to propel you there. Because I think faith is like a propeller. If you don't have that, it's like, what's the fuel? Where's the gasoline coming from? It's got to come from somewhere.
Exactly.
Faith is the key ingredient.
It really is. And as I was going to Podfest, I almost missed my flight. Like, I saw myself missing my flight. The flight was about to start boarding. My Uber was telling me it's 55 minutes to the airport. I was like, we're not making it. So I went into the app, because if I had missed it, I would have had to buy a new ticket. So I went to the app and changed my flight. And I didn't even have the money, but I was like, it's going to happen. And I changed it. I got a later flight, and I was going to pay 100 on Uber to take me to the airport. I was like, can you drop me at the train station? And I took a train, because now my flight was all the way at 1 o'clock, and I relaxed. And I was like, but if I had started panicking and whatever, instead of just praying to God and trust God, because if you're meant to be there, He's going to make you there.
Right.
Now, let's get back to, now that we have talked about the ways we heal our balancing our mind and our health to get us back to our scheduling. What are the tools that you use to help you stay on track, on schedule, like with your schoolwork, with doing your podcasting, with having time for your family and friends, for yourself? Because time for yourself is also very important. And for work. So what tools do you use to help you make that process a little bit less hectic, or help you balance the process?
I like to use a like just old school pen to paper method. I have a desk calendar and I have a wall calendar. And recently I've been trying to create a content calendar for one. And content calendar for creators is basically like you scheduling out, this is when this episode comes out, yada, yada, yada. I have not been consistent with my show. So that's something that is currently in development. And I want to give a huge shout out to someone named Alicia Welch. Her Instagram is moon messages or something. She reached out to me because I had like created a story on my Instagram just saying like, hey guys, like, I know I've been kind of MIA, but I'm still here. I just need to like get organized. And she reached out to me and she's like, I'm the queen of organizing. Like, execution is what I do. If you need help, we could set up, a meeting and like we could get this together. So she like literally just took time to be like, what do you want to do with your show? Like what's from, when you want to start, January to December, like how do you want to break it down? Who are some people that you want to have on? What are 3 of your biggest content goals? And I really appreciate her for that, because not a lot of people, especially fellow creators or people that follow us, are willing to actually just take time to dig into your organization strategy. Like, I'm a very creative person, but when it comes to execution and what's it called? Like strategy, That's not my strong suit, but I'm working on it. Like the outreach part, I'm working on that. As far as my organization tools go, like I have an iPhone, so I rely on like my reminders. Like look at that reminder. Talk ish. Talk ish with P on live. That helps me too. So like if I have an event, if I have class coming up at like 7:30, which I do this evening, I have my reminder that is like 30 minutes prior. My homework, oh my gosh, that's probably my biggest area right now, is like dedicating time for that. But I use all the online tools that I can, Gmail, Calendly, my reminders.
It's a lifesaver.
For me, I'm still very like just an old school pen to paper girl. Like if
Me
I write
too.
it
Like
down, my daily to-do list,
I
that
still
helps.
I write them, but sometimes also depending on where I am, I might not have my notebook. But I always have note on paper. Like I'm a person who still takes notes. But I'm so grateful for iCalendar, because every morning I wake up and look and see, okay, what do I have scheduled today? That's why I like people scheduling through the links. Because if you tell me what to mark that, oh, let's talk tomorrow at 6 p.m., most probably I'll forget unless you're reminding me.
I know.
If it's not on the calendar, or if I did, then I would have also, and even from the calendar, I would write them down on a paper. Okay, today this is what we have. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to go on my phone and put alarms 15, 20 minutes before for each thing. Like, okay, in this time you have this. Otherwise, if the alarms would not make it work. But shout out to tools. And there's so many tools out there to help people.
So many. As overthinkers, we're both overthinkers, right? I try to keep it simple, like as simple as possible, and not use too many tools, just the ones that I'm used to for now. There are so many different apps and platforms that are like tempting, but I just stick with what I know for the most part, like what I'm familiar with.
Me too. I like the simple shit, because there's so much, not only on the organization part, but also on podcasting. There's so many tools we also have to use. Like, we have Canva, we have all these AI tools, we have this, like...
Make camera go like this.
Yeah, Canva is a lifesaver. Yeah. Now, so we are about to come to an end, but I want to ask you, yesterday you posted a story, right? First, shout out to people who actually listen to watch stories, and they know they can help and are willing to offer help. Like, you all don't understand like how it means to us when somebody responds to our stories, even if you're not offering, even if you're just sharing an idea or answering a question, like that shit helps us. Like, so yeah, do the damn thing. And to everybody who does respond to that, participate, we appreciate you. But yesterday you posted about bragging and wait, I'm trying to remember the question exactly. Are you a person who brags, or go ahead, say the question?
Who brags about your success, or would you keep it to yourself?
And I was enjoying your responses, and she was a G. She was doing her nails while talking to us. Like, I like that. But that's what I like. I don't like people who are constantly showing up trying to be perfect. Like, do your thing, girl. Like, engage with us.
I only got 2 responses. One person said they brag about their success. One person said they keep it to themselves. So I first thought like, oh, I could just post, like a picture and be like some text and like saying, oh, that's cool. I was like, I know these people, not personally, but I know them that kind of want to like speak as if I'm talking directly to them. So
and that's how you deep connection as well. Not everything has to be written. Sometimes you have to show up on the camera and just respond nicely.
I saw my nails were crusty, like words got popped off, and I was like, I'm not about to continue recording with my nails like this because I'm super picky and everything. So I was like, let me just put my nails on while I'm talking, and so I redid them.
And that was also part of the content. Like, we relate to you, like, you're showing, we're like, oh my God, I was actually watching how she was doing her nails. Like, you see how that goes? Like, you see? So for me, I feel like I brag once also, that like, because back in the days I used to brag when before it's even closed and shit falls out and now you're looking stupid and stuff. But even if it's something that's on the works and doesn't work, but I've made a step forward and I'm working so hard on it by myself, I'm gonna brag, because it takes a lot to do anything.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
you should, and nobody's gonna come and brag about you, baby. Like,
That's
people
true.
will only brag about you once Oprah is bragging about you, or somebody on the, or you're winning a Grammy. Then everybody will be like, "Oh my God, Victoria is my girl. We went to school together." But right now, when I was making those steps, because
Yeah.
the thing is, sometimes we forget to celebrate ourselves and our wins because we are concentrated of the top. We are forgetting that all these steps, these little steps that we're making, are what is taking us to the top.
Mhm.
They're helping us. Yes. And every process you have gone through hurdles. It wasn't easy. You had to jump one hurdle and then you get to the next level and you're like, now I gotta get through this again to get to the
Right.
next level. So succeeding that level, however small, brag about it, baby. And
Mhm.
there are different ways to brag. You don't have to share exactly everything. You can
Right.
just brag a little bit while still leaving people suspicious and curious.
Exactly. Exactly. I believe in that too. You don't have to share everything with people. Like, people aren't always rooting for you, or always going to be happy for you. That I know. That's just a straight fact. But you can
You
hype
gotta
yourself.
give them something for them to keep watching you, because they're gonna watch. They're gonna
Right.
watch. They're like, what is she up to? What's she
Mhm.
talking about? Yeah,
Mhm.
keep watching as I climb the stairs.
Yeah, I think, like, again, going back to faith, you got to have that faith aspect where it's like, I know what people are going to think, but I also don't really care. So I'm just going to keep doing my thing, even though it feels kind of uncomfortable, because I know they're probably going to be thinking, like, who are you to be doing all this? What are you doing?
I'm a
But
child of God, and
there you
I'm
go.
doing the damn thing.
And just living in that space where it's like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have faith, I'm gonna have faith. And while people are watching, it's just, yeah, that's
But,
awesome.
but that was amazing. I think you need to do more of those. I know yesterday I was so tired. I'm still trying to, I just came from Podfest. I'm moving. So I'm trying to be active, but I'm also trying to be like, I gotta rest as well. But I'll
I
be
know. I was like,
participating.
oh, why you want to do like a live with me right now? She could be resting or something. Like, what?
Now, baby, we had to. It's the 1st of February, Black History Month, baby. We were not postponing that for nothing. So, as we come to an end, you are a podcaster and we deal with mental health, and you also do. So, I wanted to ask you, can you share a memorable experience from one of your podcast interviews, guests, that significantly impacted your perspective on mental health?
Oh, that's a good one. I have to think. That significantly impacted
Your perspective on mental health. A little mind switch. Like, maybe it made you look at it in a different way. It gave you a new light or a new darkness.
I think my most recent one, my last one that I posted with another podcaster named Hamza Islam. And at the end, I do a speed round for my guests. So I ask them very just short quick answer questions. And one of the questions I asked him was that it was like, finish this sentence. I truly believe that. And he said, I truly believe that losing friends is not like the scariest thing in the world, or something like that. Not verbatim, but he said something like that. And that stuck with me for sure. I don't think for me that my friend circle, when it comes to like besties or whatever, is really small. So I was like, that, I don't know if that really applies to me, but it stuck with me for sure, because I've moved a lot. Like, growing up, my family moved a lot. We moved from Texas to Colorado, then back to Texas. So I've been in different environments and spaces where I've been close with people or friends or classmates, and then I move and I don't really see them again. I don't really talk to them again, and we're just connected through social media. So I think that part is just kind of a dose of reality, that people aren't always going to be around. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If you lose people, if you lose friends, that's just the nature of life. My mom even says to me a lot, like, friends are like clothes. Some you put them on, you take them off. Some fit, some don't, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Maybe it's more. I don't know. Like I kind of have a tough time in like the friend department.
But then again, you're still Gen Zs. You still have time. You'll get into your 30s and late, and when life really gets, I mean, life is already hectic, but because you're also still in your, because I used to also not think that I used to have a lot of friends, and I used to get so mad when I lose friends because I was like, no. And then it came to realize that, especially when I started taking care of my mental health and realizing that some people gotta go. It's not only friends, but family member. Some people gotta get out of your space, of your peace. And it's not always, because most people think when you stop talking to somebody or you lose a friend, it's always like, oh, you fought, you have beef. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just our time has come to an end. Just like seasons. We have different seasons. You were summer, now we're going to author. Or you were there for a purpose and you fulfilled your purpose. Now I gotta go somewhere else. Because we grow. And sometimes our friends, however much we love them, we don't grow at the same path. And we're in different. Exactly. You get fat and you're like, oh my God, that's my favorite sweater. You're trying to put, but the sweater doesn't fit. And that's why people become hoarders. And now you're going to end up being hoarder. But if you hoard on things that are not supposed to stay there, it messes your mental health. So I think that's where it comes to that. Now, with that said, please let the people know who you are, what you do. Sell yourself all the amazing shit. And leave them with an advice for listeners who are in a process where they're struggling to find balance. What would you advise them?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on Talk Shit with P, Paula. It's always a great time to connect with you. My name is Victoria. I'm the host of the Feel Your Feelings podcast. You can follow me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is at @AsToldByVictoria_. My podcast Instagram is at the Feel Your Feelings pod. Link is in my description. I'm working on some merchandise at the moment. I have created some laptop stickers for my podcast, and the logo has been revamped. As you can see, like, we got the purple vibe going on. Like,
I love it.
Check out her logo as well. But I got holographic and bees, so be on the lookout for some new merch. And you can follow me anywhere that you stream your podcasts: YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. Think of like the advice you said to stay balanced. Staying balanced for a new creator, or just in general?
Just people who are just juggling, whether they're juggling the creative side and the lifestyle. Because even being a creator, you're still a creator, but you still have personal things. Most of us still have jobs. Most of us still have friends, family. Most of you are still in school. So, yeah.
I'm a student and I'm also a creative. I'm blessed to be at a school that is like a creative academy. So I'm surrounded by other creators and people
They
that are
fuel you.
We like fuel each other. It's very collaboration heavy, even though it's a small program. So I'm blessed to be around those people. So I would say surround yourself with other people in your niche. Whatever your niche is, try and surround yourself with them, either physically, through a school, through a program, through some free activity in your community. Like, there's people out there that are just like you, that are also looking for friends or for colleagues or for a community. So seek that out. Like also establishing a relationship with God or your faith, whatever your personal faith is. Like the Bible says, like, seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added onto you, right? So that's what I started to do, is like, you know what? Let me make God my friend. Like,
Amen.
He knows everything about me anyway. So if, He got my back, then everything else I want is just going to fall into place. So yeah, seek out genuine connections with people, trust God, have faith. And I'm trying to think of one more. Meditate. And I need to take this.
Meditate or journal, go to nature.
Read. There's different levels of meditation. It's not just yoga. I do yoga for posture, but find your own version of meditation.
Meditation.
You could be listening to music, listening to your favorite songs that lift you up. So that helps me stay balanced for sure.
I like that. And about finding your people, I'm more about community. Like I have different creative communities. I'm part of Podfest. I'm part of Podpaz. I'm part of Podmatch. I'm literally wearing podcaster morning chat room right now, which is our empowered morning.
Because you're connected. I'm so inspired by you with that because you're connected to all these communities in the podcaster space.
And they also, and when you make those connections, I make them intentional, deep. I just don't make it myself, so that they also become personal. Like there are people in these podcasting communities who have cried on, who have reached out to me for certain things, who I go to. So they help with the creativity, but also when I need them in my personal life, they do show up. So don't sleep on those communities. And with that said, I will also add that it's okay to say no. When you feel already overwhelmed and stuff, I think sometimes we have this, yes, I'll come to your birthday party. Yes, I'll go out to the movies with you. Yes, and then at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, I have to be here Friday, Saturday, and your financial $0. Girl, say no. It is okay to say no and miss out on certain things. And that's why I think discipline is important. And that's why my word this year is discipline, to really discipline myself.
One more. So my word, I do the same thing. I do like the one word for the year. So my one word for 2024 is audacity. And it scares me a little bit because audacity requires action. That's like
it does.
You play offense, not defense. So that's something that I'm personally working on advancing this year.
All right, let's go. I mean, and for me, last year I used to do it 1 year. My word was intentional. But this year I decided I'm doing them every quarter. So like I started with discipline because even though I'm adding every quarter, I want to go with them throughout the year. So I'm bringing my intention with me from last year, and I added discipline. And then next quarter, we're going to go with intentional discipline and a new word. That way we just keep building and building instead of waiting 1 year. So you can do that.
My word for last year, 2023, was patience. So I think I also want to bring that with me into
2023. Because it helps with audacity, because you're going to take action, but you also have to have patience. Yes.
Balance. If you're too audacious, if you move too quickly, you can kind of hit a wall really fast or be in places that you're not meant to be in. Whereas if you bring patience along, you're like giving yourself grace, you're taking your time, you're trusting God, you're trusting the process, you're being easy on yourself, not being
not too easy, because sometimes I think we overdo it with giving each other grace. We're like, I'm gonna give myself grace, and next thing you know, it's 2 months. Girl, you've been giving yourself grace for 2 months. No.
Like having balance, because I have fallen into both, where I can be too patient, but then I could be too like my way. So just having like a good, healthy balance.
And sometimes having accountability buddies help, like somebody to help hold you accountable. So if you also can't do it by yourself, find an accountability buddy, hold each other accountable. You said by the 6th, this episode is gonna come out. It's the 6th today. Where's the episode?
Right. You want to be my accountant?
I got you, girl. Just tell me everything you want to accomplish by when, and I will hold you. I am good at reaching out. Like you say this, I ain't saying nothing, so I got you. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everybody who joined in and hanged out with us. We were talking balancing, which went to mindset and discipline and God and faith, and this was very all in one. And that's why I wanted to have this instead of having so many questions, where I have one specific question which kind of rotates around and turns out into a good conversation. So for my first shit happens, I did the damn thing. I am gonna brag about it, and thank you so much, Victoria, for joining.
Thank you. Stay in power, y'all.
All right. And
shit happens.